Monero explained. Everything you need to know about XMR. Hello and welcome back to Metaverse. For today's video, we are going to be talking about Monero explained. Everything you need to know about XMR. Let's get started. What is Monero? The potential of cryptocurrencies is not simply decentralization and simplicity. Many people use cryptocurrencies for their need for privacy, with Monero reigning supreme in this regard. Monero has a name that sounds like money, which makes sense given that the Esperanto word for coin is precisely that phrase. It resembles other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin in many respects. It's a blockchain that uses proof of work and an adaptable block size. What makes Monero private? The straightforward response in this case is that Monero is built using open source software called CryptoNote. This can now serve as the foundation for any additional private cryptocurrencies. However, its use in Monero is what is most well known, without going into much detail because it does get detailed. This software uses a variety of keys and something called ring signatures to keep Monero entirely private. Imagine if you used PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App every single time. In order to transfer and receive money, the amount generated a completely other username. In essence, this is how keys function in Monero. You can generate keys at random each time you want to make a transaction. In addition, Monero makes use of ring signatures. These are now purposely made to conceal the identities of those making payments to the general population. The transaction takes place, but from the outside you can only see the potential recipients of the money as a whole. It's impossible to determine which member of this group took part in the transaction. Thus, it is completely private. As a result, it is impossible to follow Monero's movement. However, it also means that in contrast to practically every other blockchain where account balances can be viewed, you cannot know how much money the person you are paying has. How is Monero actually different from Bitcoin? Compared to things like bank transfers, Venmo, and PayPal, Bitcoin is more private. Even a purchase made with a debit card, but it hasn't quite arrived yet. In actuality, Bitcoins are not completely fungible. Every token has a background and origin story. It's not entirely fungible because you can actually keep track of where it was mined and who it was exchanged to. That could comprise a senator, a drug dealer, or even a large company, assuming you can locate them at least. Fungibility is how economists gauge whether something is truly good money in the field of economics. A currency's units should ideally all be identical to one another. For instance, 2 pounds of gold are atomically identical to one another. Now, dollar bills might feature unique serial numbers or designs, but the value of each is the same, $1 in the US. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies may be tracked due to these historical problems. Old coins that may have been used in a hack or even a drug transaction may now be undesirable. Monero, on the other hand, is totally fungible since it is completely untraceable, not only with regard to value but also with regard to traceability. Additionally, Monero varies from Bitcoin in a small but crucial manner historically. Block size. In terms of block size, Monero has no block size restriction. If there are many transactions that need to be validated, blocks may actually grow in size. This is similar to adding more lances to a highway during rush hour. However, as block sizes are increased, transaction costs decrease, allowing users to flood the network with less significant transactions that they otherwise wouldn't, by evaluating the block size and imposing fines if the block is too large. Monero now circumvents this issue. This fine essentially reduces the payment that miners received for validating a block. Consequently, they won't be as motivated to mine it. Transactions don't get confirmed if they aren't motivated. Depending on the amount of network traffic, each of these incentives helps to keep Monero operating efficiently. But economics aside, censorship resistance provided by decentralization is the one feature supporters of Monero would highlight above all else. Few things to consider. Number 1. Mining. Monero's mining technique is intended to make it more decentralized. The majority of Bitcoin is mined using specialized, pricey devices called ASICs. These make mining simpler, are more effective, and require less electricity. However, they are a niche industry, and the majority of people cannot access them without making a substantial financial commitment. On the other side, CPUs are mostly used to mine Monero. They are currently available in practically all personal computers, even the one in your laptop, when mining power is distributed rather than controlled by an organization. The mechanism is less prone to malfunction. Number 2. A lack of transparency. This transparency in Bitcoin actually adds value in order to ensure that no one spends their money twice. It enables everyone to check the ledger and ensure that every node can truly validate the blockchain. However, it also means that you can track where money is going and where it comes from, examine any patterns, and even identify a specific wallet by looking at those patterns. Finding out who is who else they are doing business with, and possibly even how much money they have can all be done by knowing which wallets are doing what. The way people engage and negotiate is radically altered by this level of transparency. By being private, Monero solves this issue. This maintains the same amount of transparency that we've come to expect from hidden bank accounts. Decentralization transfers responsibility to individuals. Individuals must exercise extreme responsibility. It also denotes a variety of keys. These keys now protect Monero's privacy, yet it also makes it more difficult to use and store. On centralized exchanges, you can purchase and sell Monero. However, this adds a little complexity to the privacy use case. Some claim that purchasing Monero through KYC, this stands for Know Your Customers, or businesses that need to know you. They contend that it undermines the aim of this privacy. Now, due to the fact that specific transactions on Monero alone still cannot be tracked, this is not quite accurate. It's comparable like going to the bank and withdrawing some money. The bank is aware of when and how much money you withdraw, but it is unaware of your spending habits if you go to a 7-Eleven and buy a Slurpee, if the exchange has ever been hacked, etc. All that anyone could ever determine was when you transferred your Monero from that location to your wallet, not the amount or the wallet. Thus, it is evident that Monero is designed from the outset to be an ultra-private cryptocurrency. However, having private transactions is crucial. Why is privacy important? To the typical person who doesn't truly understand cryptography, it is the same as crime. And this actually makes sense. The usage of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others in criminal activity. Just like many other new technologies, criminals often make them first, but this raises a significant query. What constitutes a criminal offense? Many places consider people criminals just for opposing the government or even for practicing a particular faith. Possibly even having a different sexual orientation to some extent. A lot of places use cryptocurrencies to store value. Proponents of Monero would undoubtedly claim that without anonymity, it is impossible to avoid, might be scared of from utilizing it. This need for a fully private cryptocurrency is shared by many people, is quite important, which was really the original cause of it. Monero's past and future. A new project called Bitcoin launched. The purpose of this was to develop a private cryptocurrency, but it was actually forked as a result of their mining-related concerns, indicating that the code was copied, pasted, and then altered. From that project, Monero was born. In contrast to Bitcoin, the primary spokesperson and original developer are well known. However, many of the developers are anonymous and utilized aliases. This is distinct from both Bitcoin and Ethereum in various aspects. Some people in the Bitcoin community are worried that Satoshi Nakamoto will come forward and or sell all of their coins, which causes significant price swings. In this situation, anonymity poses a risk. In the case of the Ethereum, some worry about Vitalik Buterin's hands becoming too centralized, despite the fact that nobody would have to pay attention to what he says. He has some indirect control over the network in addition to that, but he is also incredibly powerful. In fact, he was the driving force behind the hard fork that gave rise to Ethereum Classic. Centralization poses a risk in this situation. A collection of developers, some well-known and others not, manage Monero. And because of this, they have a healthy mix of developers and are not at the mercy of just one person's whims. Uncertainty surrounds the future of Monero's price and chances of becoming widely used. It clearly has applications, but even for cryptocurrencies, institutional investors might find it untrustworthy and unfamiliar. It can also involve higher political risk. Despite the fact that governments may adapt cryptocurrencies in some capacity, they are aware that those who oppose the government can utilize Monero to circumvent regulations and even sanctions. This resilience is advantageous for Monero users. However, it can imply that governments are more at risk as a result. It's possible that Monero will never become popular and continues to prowl in the crypto fear's shadow. What did you learn about Monero and the Metaverse from our discussion? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video.